Hey, y'all. This is Frank the Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormal Punchers.
Hey, friends. Welcome to a special episode of Paranormal Punchers. I'm Mark.
I'm Alicia.
And we got a chance to sit down and talk with Ted VanSon. He's a paranormal investigator. He's written several books. He was recently on Travel Channel's Ghost Nation, Season 1, Episode 10. It was an excellent fun time, so why don't we jump into that? Hey, Ted. Welcome back to the show, man. I'm glad you had time to hang out with us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. You guys are a trip.
Excellent. How you doing?
Doing well. We're up here in that New York snowstorm right now, but we're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, we're getting a little bit of snow, but I think you're getting a lot more than we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's New York for you.
Yeah, do you ever get tired of that?
Actually, no, because like this year, it's been awesome. We had 2 snowstorms before winter, before it actually, officially begun, and then it's been 50s, 60s, right along. And then they just started calling for this for the next few days, but then it's going right back up to the 40s. So I'm good with it.
Yeah, it's been crazy with the kind of weather we've been having around here. But I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither, bud.
Now, let's see. Looks like 2019 was a pretty exciting year for you. A new book. You were on Ghost Nation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we... I say we. I don't know, like me, myself, and I guess. Yeah, it was interesting. Things kind of just fell into place on their own. I don't really know if I don't know. Maybe the gods were just looking out for me. Who knows? But yeah, the book came out in the beginning of the year, which was great because it's a follow up to the first one that I talked to you about a year ago.
Right.
And then I started a new one here about a month and a half ago, so I'm working on my third.
Wow.
And I've got events that I've been doing. I've got events that I'm planning. I've been on the Ghost Nation, which was an amazing because Jason Haas is from my area, so a longtime friend. And it's been a great year, and 2020 is shaping up to look even better.
That's awesome. Yeah, tell me about the new book. It's called Think Outside the Paranormal Box.
You know what's funny about that is I was like, man, I want to put together a book, but with the old school ideas. Like, I think we touched base on it a year ago. And I'm like, yeah, I want to do some, concentrate more on the old school shit and old stuff. And bleep. Anyways, I'm like, well, but I got to come up with something interesting. And you know that the first title for my first book was pretty interesting. Flashlight, recorders, comfortable shoes.
Right.
And, you guys even played on it a little bit, which was awesome. So I'm thinking, well, I got to do something interesting. So I'm like, everybody's like, well, let's think outside the box. And I'm like, well, let's carry that a little further. Let's say think outside the paranormal box. Since that's the field I'm in, and I just celebrated 34 years in the field.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. So that's how it came about, brother. I just started writing down thoughts, the old school stuff that I used when I was a teenager, and which was a long time ago, by the way. I just celebrated my birthday. I'm now 53. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you. And so that, and then, one thing that the paranormal field is missing, I guess, is the best way to put it, is there's not enough experimentations going on. Like, everybody wants proof. Everybody wants to get the answers to, quote unquote, the life after death, or quote unquote, are ghosts real? Well, there's too many people in the field right now just accepting ridiculous answers as truth. And so I'm like, well, let's do something different, and let's put together experiments that people can do to help further themselves in the field. So I put those inside the book as well, because that's the type of stuff that I do. And so there's experiments in the book as well, just simple little techniques that you can do to help further your studies.
Now, give me an example of one of those techniques, because I know the book, it talks about getting, all the gear you can get. We got all this technology, a lot of some crazy stuff, infrared, heat signature. Now I see on Ghost Adventures, it shows like a little pixelated stick figure.
Right.
Yeah, the Connect. What a piece of garbage. Sorry, I didn't mean to be that blatant, but that's who I am sometimes when it comes to some equipment. And I get a lot of slack for it, trust me. I'm going to say probably one of I like simple experiments. And I don't know about you, but I've always had this idea in theory that rocket scientists or have a PhD to do simple experiments, especially in this field. I mean, 20 years ago, there was what? Maybe 500 to 1,000 paranormal investigators across the world, and what? There's like 40,000 now.
Right.
I mean, it's a huge field right now, and so I put together like these experiments, like I said, and some of the like easiest ones. You know what a banana hook is, or like you can put them on your counter and it holds like the bananas so they don't sit on the counter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you get one of those, and you get yourself a pendulum, because that's what some of these new age, paranormal investigators, use. I mean, I can't say just new age, because a lot of older folks did too. Place the pendulum on the banana hook. Take that to your location. Get a 3x5 index card, write yes or no on it, put that underneath to where the pendulum is hanging, and ask your question. Don't hold it, don't touch it, let it do it on its own. It's going to give you a better idea if there's something there. We already know that we have in our body electricity, and we cause things to move by the muscles and the electronic, or I can't even talk right now, the electric that shoots through our bodies. It's an involuntary movement, but take the human factor out of it. Put the tool, the pendulum, on the hook, ask your questions, see if it sways. I think in this field, if you want proof, if you really want to experiment and find things that are real, then you have to take us out of it in some sense and just let the tools do the job by themselves.
Okay, do you still would you still use the photography, or is that still just too human? Because we're going to take the picture, we're going to overanalyze it, we're going to start, what's that called, matrixing? True. But, if you really just do that, set up a video camera, everybody's going to judge you no matter what the experiments are that you do. It doesn't matter. So you might as well make it as true as you can. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like,
right.
A lot of people use the witch stick or the, God, I can't even think of them right now. The rods, divining rods.
Yeah.
So instead of putting them in your hand, get yourself, the green foam stuff that you get for fake flowers, and you stick the flowers in it to make a display.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or get yourself 2x4s. Drill a hole in it, and just big enough for the rods to fit in it. Then stick that, put a platform on it, then stick it in your haunted location and see if it'll interact with them without human touch. Put a camera on it. There's simple little experiments. I mean, I really, truly believe that we have to take us out of the picture. I mean, if we're claiming that the pendulum finds proof or gives us answers, if the divining rods are actually answering questions from spirit, well, then they don't need our touch to do that.
Right, and you also don't need to drop $1,000 on all kinds of equipment.
Well, that's the premise of the first book, right? It's like you don't need all this fancy equipment.
Right.
So what does a 2x4 cost you? A couple bucks?
No, and we took that for that first book after we talked to you. We took that to heart. We went to Gettysburg.
Yep.
And we were fortunate enough to go to the Jenny Wade house and get a private investigation.
Awesome.
And that's all we took was a flashlight, the digital recorder, and of course we all had sneakers on.
Yeah.
And
I feel like we had some experiences. Got a couple EVPs that people could easily debunk, but it's kind of like the group afterwards. We were able to have a cold beverage and sit around and talk about what we experienced. So for us, it was a great experience together. Hey, people might not believe what we experienced, but I know I heard footsteps walking around upstairs when nobody was there.
right, and the thing is it's one of the problems in the field right now is that you got all these people that are making all this equipment that's $500, $600, $700. I mean, what a ghost box is $500, $600 these days? I'm like, come on. I mean, you don't need that.
Right.
You really don't. And so what if you just go up with a flashlight and a quarter and you sit in a room and talk to furniture all day or all night long? God, you know what? Sometimes that's the best because your senses, when you're sitting down in a dark room, your senses amplify, and you're able to hear and detect more things with just your body. So the experiences become real for you. And if you're a real paranormal investigator, that's all you need. Now, to prove it, of course, you have to go a step further. But that's why a simple camera, a video camera, or video recorder, and your voice recorder come into play. And you get other people to do it with you so that you can have them sign off on it. You say, this is what I experienced. This is what these 5 people experienced. And then, they all agreed to it. So what do you think we did back in the olden days? Same thing.
Right.
We didn't have all those fancy gadgets.
How's the book getting? How's the reception in the paranormal world?
I can't say it's great, but I can't say it's bad either. It's like middle of the road right now. I'm a skeptical investigator, and I'm pretty plain, pretty simple guy. Less is more for me, and I really think that I don't know. I don't think we're going to have answers in my lifetime or even yours, but that doesn't mean we give up. That means we keep trying new things, and with that book, it's just another piece of that big puzzle, and people are going to either accept it or not, and that's up to them. I'm fine either way.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, switching gears here, but, this book talks about going, getting rid of some of the technology, and then you were on Ghost Nation. There had to be a whole bunch of equipment.
Yeah.
Actually, not as much as you thought.
Okay.
They do a lot of digital recorders, which, okay, that's what I do. And then they have cameras. They used like one EMF detector, and then they used a proximity sensor. For the most part, that was it.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a whole lot of other gadgetry there. It was pretty simple, and it was a trip, man. It was a lot of fun to work with Jason again, and to meet, Steve and Tango, and everybody's pretty much the same when it comes to the stuff. They're all pretty much down to earth, and they also believe less is more.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, and you look good on the show, dude.
Yeah, right.
Now, for some people that don't get Travel Channel, because the case was really interesting.
Yeah.
If you don't mind telling us a little bit about this house and what happened there.
That case actually was number 1 for their first season, which was great. And it was kind of weird because they caught this I don't want to say an apparition because it wasn't, but it was the forming of such. And it was awesome. I mean, it was caught in the middle of the afternoon. It wasn't even at night. Mm-hmm. And just to make sure your listeners understand, you don't have to ghost hunt at night. The only reason that we do it at night is because it's quiet. We get less interaction from the normal traffic and people talking and stuff like that. So that's why we do it at night.
Right.
But in the afternoon, like, we're out in the middle of freaking nowhere, first off. And big old farmhouse, and it was amazing. And when they caught that, because I told them ahead of time, I said, this location extremely quiet. And then we started getting things when we weren't paying attention. That's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a common thing when it comes to locations, is that when you're really not paying attention, or, you know, the normal things that you do, or that you're hoping to do fail, or you don't think you're getting anything, it just seems really quiet is when things happen. You know, it's kind of like, you know, you're something spectacular happens and you happen to be talking to your buddy and it's like it happened over your shoulder. It's like, damn, I missed it. You know, and you know, it's one of those things. So I don't know. But the location itself in New York, first off, it's an ongoing investigation. It will be for a long time because of the fact of what we caught. The other thing is that I was dropped into this investigation. Now, this is a weird story. And if you believe in things are meant to happen, then you're going to love this. I was sitting at home working on the book, the new book, the third book. And I get this phone call. And this guy, you know, says to me, hey, my name is David. I've got this location. There's all this stuff going on. I had a team that I was working with. They stopped, you know, returning my phone calls. I don't know what's going on, but I really need somebody. I had spoke to a producer from Travel Channel. They want to bring the guys down here, but I need a home team. I'm like, okay. So he explained the case to me, and then I'm like, well, I'm not really a home team. I'm, you know, 2.5 hours away, but sure, you know, I'll give you a hand. And so I made arrangements with him to go meet him and go through the location. Hung up the phone, and I not lying to you, probably 5 hours later, I get a phone call from Travel Channel saying, hey, we got this location. It's in Brooktondale, New York. I said, let me guess, the guy's name is David. And they're like, how did you know that? I go, because he just called me like 4 or 5 hours prior. They're like, no way. I'm like, yeah. So maybe this was meant to be. And so that's how the whole investigation, how the whole thing even started.
Wow. Are you going to continue to investigate that place?
Oh, yeah, we still are.
Cool.
We're going to continue there because when you get something like that, it's an opportunity to, you know, go through and try and recreate it or to debunk it or, you know, just see what else is going on there. I mean, there is a lot of claims. We got a lot to what he claimed that backed it up. I mean, I'm telling you, dude, there was some really strange things.
Yeah, and the one thing that looked like an apparition that you said you wouldn't call an apparition kind of also had like a Shadow Man vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what was really strange is that it just kind of formed. You know how when snow like circles in a, you know, kind of goes in a circle when it's first coming down and the wind blows it a little bit?
Yeah.
It's like, that's what it was like.
Wow.
It kind of just formed, and then the next thing you know, it's moving from right to left, and then you see the shadow just pop out of nowhere. And it was really, really strange. You know, my mouth dropped. I was like,
Yeah, I
okay.
can imagine.
Right.
I mean, that's like the second visual thing that I have seen in 34 years. And just amazing. Amazing. And, you know, there's people out there that claim, oh, I see this stuff all the time. Horseshit. Oh, excuse me. You know, stuff like that is I don't know, man. It's a wonder. You know, it's one of those things that's just like, oh, I can't believe I just saw that. You know, and now it's time to do the experiment and to try and recreate it or get it to recreate itself. So that's what we're working on right now, plus backing it up with more EVPs and stuff like that. It's going to be an ongoing thing for a long time.
Wow, that's incredible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the one person said they saw a woman in a white dress.
Yeah.
And I guess there's also a little kid that's there that talked or touched that one little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little African-American girl. What's really strange is, like, David was telling me about it. Then he sends me a video, which everybody saw on national TV.
Right.
And so I'm like, oh, wow, this was pretty cool. And I actually had to go back and clean that up a little bit and go over it like 100 times. And so then I presented it to Travel Channel, and they were blown away by it. And then we bring in this guy to try and find water for us the old-fashioned way with a witch stick. And he gets on the property, and he says, I remember this house. Really? And he's like, yeah. He says, I used to come here and babysit my cousins and stuff. He says, we saw an apparition of a African-American girl on the top of the stairs. I'm like, wow. Now that just validates what David said, and it was 20 years apart.
Wow.
Wow. Are you going to do any of the experiments from the book there with the pendulum and?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to see. I'm not just one that preaches. I like to do, like, if you look at the book, and I'll send you guys one if you don't have one. If you actually follow the book, some of the experiments or some of the ideas I have in there, I have not used yet. But they're good, solid ideas, and they're things that I want to implement in my investigation. And I've already had a couple other local teams say, hey, can we use your ideas? And I'm like, oh, please. I mean, they're not really mine. I mean, some of them are just, they've been around forever, like the balloon, And I had one team call me and say, hey, we used your balloon experiment last night. It was amazing. We caught it on video. They sent me the video of it. It was amazing. You see this balloon actually walking across the floor. It was great, but there's a lot of little details. I mean, you have to make sure there's no breeze. You have to make sure that nobody's moving.
Right.
You have to make sure that the windows are all solid, that like nothing coming through the windows. There's no heat on. There's no air conditioning on, no circulation of air. And they did all that, and they caught the balloon actually moving across the floor, which I think was amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's just stuff that we've used over the years. I mean, the Warrens used it. It's just old school ideas, like putting a bell on a door handle or putting a piece of string in the middle of the room, from the ceiling and let it hang. And you could put a bell on it. You could put crepe paper on it. You could do whatever you want. And as long as there's no breeze in that room and you sat there with a video camera for an hour and nothing has moved. It's been completely still. There's no breeze, no nothing, no heater kicked on, no AC kicked on, and all of a sudden that string lifts to the left, like halfway up in the air. Well, what caused that?
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah. So you got to think outside the paranormal box.
Hey, way to bring it back to a plug. Awesome. I got to go ahead.
One more thing, and I hope you guys are going to make it to Gettysburg this coming year because I will be there.
Yeah, the Gettysburg, is it called Bash?
Yeah, Battlefield Bash. Yep, I'm going to be in Gettysburg.
Awesome.
That's in July, right?
Yeah, and I hope you guys are going to be there.
Yeah, we're like, hour and 15 minutes from Gettysburg?
Yeah, we're not far. We go there all the time.
Yeah, we'd love to come down, get together, have a cold beverage.
A toddy. Wow, exactly. We'll have a toddy.
Heck yeah. Question, when you were, just out of curiosity, as somebody's always trying to make little videos myself, what was it like filming that episode of Ghost Nation? Was there a lot of pressure with all the cameras around, or did they keep it very low-key?
Actually, there was times I forgot they were even there.
Oh, wow.
To be honest with you, they had some of the best camera men and women that you could have. Amazing people. I spent a week with these people, and I don't even remember their names, to tell you the truth. So it's not like I got real personal with them. But they were amazing. I mean, you didn't have to do anything but do what you do in an investigation. And these people just moved around you. They were quiet. They were amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
And there was no pressure. I think what sticks out the most for me on that whole thing is that people claim, well, TV shows are made for TV and, it's fake, it's this and that. And, they make up stuff. And I'm going to tell you guys, and you're the first podcast or radio show that I have spoken to since then, Jason Haas is an amazing individual. Nothing against Dave, nothing against Steve, but Jason ran the whole thing, and he was like, brother, I want you to tell me your story. I want us to, follow through with what you've experienced, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, just so you know, Jason, I'm not going to lie and I'm not going to embellish anything. I want it to be fact because that's the way I work. And he goes, no, I would never ask you to exaggerate anything. In fact, if there's something you don't like, you tell me. And from that point on, I was like, you know what? I will work with him again in a heartbeat, only because that's the way he works. I'm not willing to compromise my beliefs for somebody else's TV show. And he was amazing.
Wow.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I met him once up in Massachusetts at the Scaricon.
Yeah.
And then it proceeded to make a butt out of myself because I shook his hand and said hi, and then I yelled, I love your podcast, bro. And then
I could see that from you.
Well, thanks. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought it was funny at the time. Then I felt like a bit of an idiot, but, I can live with it.
I'll get you on my show, and we'll see how much of an idiot you can be.
All right. Hey, I wanted to ask you about the Rochester Winter Parafest.
Guys, I wish you guys could come up to this because we love having podcasts, and there's a lot of paranormal paracons and stuff like that don't allow podcasts, but we're an exception to the rule. We are the kickoff of every year for all the paracons, parafests, parafestivals, whatever. And I was thinking fat food there for a second. I was like, I don't know. Anyways, but we love having people from different areas, different things there. We love it. And in fact, we have a new podcast, brand new, that's actually going to be joining us from Paranormal Warehouse. But the Rochester Winter Parafest is going on its 6th year. And what it is, and I get a lot of flack for this because there's a lot of paranormal people that believe that when you have a paracon, it should just be paranormal. It shouldn't be Bigfoot. It shouldn't be horror. It shouldn't be, anything else. And I call those guys schmucks. But anyway, I truly believe that the paranormal engulfs so much. Anything that is unknown or mystical or supernatural and all that stuff, it all falls within that category. That's my belief. So your Bigfoot, your Dogman, your Mothman, your whatever, all that falls into that. Same with your psychic, same with your horror genre. Just all of this stuff. So we put it together 6 years ago and said, let's invite whoever wants to come. Like, let's not put a bar on it. And, we ended up with 32 vendors the first time. That was everything from jewelry to witches to authors to paranormal to whatever. We had everything. We had a lady that sold LuLaRoe. You know what that is?
No.
Yeah, I do.
She does.
Yeah.
I knew she would. and basically, it's pants. It's like all these different colored, stretchable.
Yeah, it's like
pants
yoga pants, tights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and women love them.
Yeah.
So we put it together, and then we invited speakers and lecturers and some of the lesser-known celebrities because we were starting out. And it's grown to the point now where for our 6th year, we were able to get some really good names. Not top names like from, really, really big TV shows, but I have horror actresses. I have Mike King from The Ghost of Shepherdstown. He was also on The Ghost of Morgan City. He was the local sheriff. He's the one that turned all this into a show. If it wasn't for him calling, the Paranormal Society and saying, hey, I need a team, it would have never happened in the first place.
Right.
I have psychics. I have, believe it or not, I have Rusty Gilligan. If you've never heard that name, you need to look it up. The guy is amazing. He works for Sony Marvel. And he is a comic book designer. He created all of the artwork for the first Avenger. He does all of that stuff. He just works on so much stuff when it comes to Marvel Comics as well as Sony Pictures and just a whole bunch of stuff. But the best part about Rusty Gilligan is that there was a TV show, and you guys are probably too young for this, but it was called Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, yeah. I used to watch that.
He was the little boy in the schoolhouse that always sat in the front row, the little blonde kid. And that was his movie stardom. That's where he came from, was that series. And he is now working for Sony Marvel, and he now comes to my event every year.
That's great.
Yeah, I have Tony DeVille, who is one of the finest tattoo artists in the country. He was on Ink Masters, the TV show.
Okay.
And he comes down and he does tattoos, at the event. So this year we have World Witches Dance. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but on YouTube it was a phenomenon. You would see all these witches dancing over in Austria, and they were dancing to a song, and there was thousands of them. Well, it became a worldwide phenomenon. Now these witches go all over the place, and they dance these routines at events. I got them coming this year.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, they look like the Wicked Witch of the West, but it's fun. The kids enjoy it. It's enjoyable to watch, and if you're a witch or Wiccan or you're into that paganism, it's fun. We also had Bigfoot this year for kids to come and get their picture taken with Bigfoot.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We got a guy for 2 days being dressed up as Bigfoot, coming to just meet with people, have fun with the kids. I have horror makeup artists from the zombie movies that are coming in. They're flying in. They're going to do zombie makeup for 2 days for anybody that wants zombie makeup. It's just going to be a fun event.
Yeah, and also it's affordable. The ticket prices are incredible.
$10. $10.
Wow.
$10. You come and you hang out with us. We have 2 events attached to it. The event is actually February 29th and March 1st. But February 28th, that Friday night, we have the guests from the TV show Naked and Afraid. We have Trent Nielsen, Melanie Roshauer, and Seth Reese. They are coming in. They're doing a dinner meet and greet the night before. We also have a paranormal panel of Jack Kenna from Haunted Case Files, Dan Class from a Haunted Hinsdale House, and Michelle Wagner from Paranormal Survivor. And they're going to be there as well. And we're just going to do a meet and greet and dinner and take pictures and Q&A. And then they're all returning to the Parafest the next day.
Wow.
That's great. Even the vendor, to have a vendor table, looks like it's $40.
It's $40 a day, $70 for the weekend. You can't pass that up, and we'll get 50 vendors this year.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, a lot of times I look at cons in our area, and they're like, $125, $200 for a vendor table. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, try Scarefest in Kentucky, $400.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I was told by a vendor there. It cost her $400.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a little too high.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, most of us are poor, so we can't afford that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, this looks like a really great event. That's going down, February starts the 28th.
29th. Well, 28th starts with a meet and greet. The 29th is the first day of the Parafest. Believe it or not, that night at the Parafest, actually at the historical Avon Inn in Avon, New York, we're going to be doing a gallery reading with Psychic Cindy, who is also on Travel Channel. She's going to be there doing a gallery reading, and that's only $50. And then Sunday, we're going to tally it all up and have the last part of the event and hopefully raise enough money for the Veterans Outreach. And that's what we do, is we do it for a veterans organization every year. And hopefully it'll be good. People go, oh, it's in the winter. It's February. I'm like, first off, you're in New York, and yeah, it's wintertime, but last year and the year before that and the year before that, it's been 45 degrees sunshine. We did get a snowstorm that Sunday night, but, come on. What better thing to do? Shake off the winter blues. Come on out, hang out with a whole bunch of really cool people. You even at that night, Saturday night, other than the gallery reading, you're able to go to hang out with us at a nice little pub, have some beers, some food, chat with them there as well. It's just, I can't tell you how much fun it's going to be. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it
sounds
great.
You guys aren't coming.
Yes, it does sound very cool. It's you can find out more at winterparafest.com.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Well, maybe next year we'll have you there. I mean,
yeah.
whatever,
I mean, for $40 to have a table and then be able to hang out at the pub, I mean, you had me at pub. How's
you guys are welcome.
Hey, how's your podcast going? The Paratalk Radio.
It's the bomb, man. I love it. We are probably. I got to tell you, we have listeners from all over the world, but there are a lot of people that love our podcast. Then we get those people that just like, you're not paranormal enough. You're not serious enough. Well, turn the goddamn channel. Go listen to something else. We are the exception to the rule. We don't drink, even though we'd like to. Every once in a while we'll have a drink, but, we don't drink that often. But we are just wacky, crazy people. I mean, we like to laugh. There's sometimes, we get a little loud. Sometimes we get colorful, I guess is the best way to put it. We get off topic sometimes. My co-host is, there is a word for it, but I can't think of the word, but she's a topics of sexual innuendos always happen. Let's put that. She's an amazing individual, and she's a psychic, and she's fun, and she's loud as all heck, and I just love her to death. I really do. And but we get a lot of slack for being what we are, and that's unfortunate because I think we're a great show. And we get those people that get uptight and they've got a stick up their butt they need to remove. We're just a fun show, and we have a lot of followers, and we are thankful for them. We love them, and there's no topic that we won't talk about.
Yeah, that's all it really comes down to. If you're having fun, because we experience the same thing because we're a bunch of goofballs. That we don't make fun of. We just have fun with the topics. But some people, we're just not serious enough, or we don't do enough fact finding. I'm like,
who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, I did this. I did Paratalk Radio because I wanted it to be different. I didn't want it to be. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I hop on the internet and I look for a podcast about paranormal, I'm sorry, they got this weird music, woo, and they talk like, oh, today we are talking about. I'm like, get some life in your shorts. I mean, let's come on, let's make this fun. I mean, I don't want to fall asleep 10 minutes into the podcast, and unfortunately, there's a lot of podcasts. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to sleep. Nope, not happening. And I'll turn it to listen to something else. Because I can't listen to the same old boring thing. It's like, sure, I want the information. I want to hear these people's story, but you catch more flies with honey than you do with freaking a fly strip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know. I'd rather hear the real story, and if I can get my guests to be relaxed and fun and in that giggly mood and laughing their butt off, they're going to tell me more than they told the last interviewer. And 99% of them will come back and say, "Oh my God, I had such a blast. Where did the 2 hours go?" And all that stuff. And I'm just like, "You guys are amazing." And it's like, "No, you're amazing. No, you're amazing." I'm like, "Shut up, now go away." So we just like having fun. And that's why I like you guys. I listen to your podcast as often as I can. And, you guys are amazing. You're an amazing group. I love listening to you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. That means a lot.
Except sometimes you talk really fast in the beginning and you're like, hi. And I'm like, slow down, partner. Drop the coffee.
Now now I feel like I'm going to be self-conscious about it.
Now he's going to slow down.
I'll be like, hey, everybody. Ted told me to slow down.
I'm like, what did he just say? What? But guys, the book and the radio show and the Parafest, that's what I've been doing. I mean, I've actually gotten a couple job offers in the state of Pennsylvania lately too, and I'm even considering moving down that way. There's a lot of haunted locations down there, and Gettysburg is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had more offers for shows, and I just, I'm one of those guys that I would prefer to be on my radio show than on the TV because I'm a big fella. And sure, it's nice that you guys said I look good on the TV, and I look at it, I go, who in the hell is that? And then right now I'm getting a lot of ridicule because at the ending part of that show, you see me standing in the kitchen, and I got this look on my face. And everybody calls me and goes, what's that stupid look on your face? And I'm like, I was paying attention. That's my paying attention. So, and I was sad because it was ending.
Ted, it is always a blast to talk to you. Boy, that'd be pretty cool if you moved to PA.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are a lot of fun, and like I said, I'd really like to see you guys down in Gettysburg. And we're going to be set up. Paratalk Radio will be set up there. We're going to be doing live shows all weekend there.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Cool.
that means if you come, we're going to get you on the radio with us, and we will put a buzzer underneath your seat so that you slow down with your talking. And each time you go too fast, I'm going to hit the button. You're going to be hopping out of that seat.
Oh, excellent.
There you go. But we'll have drinks. We'll be. It'll be good. It'll be a fun time, and I think it would be awesome to meet you guys finally.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. Ted, tell everybody where they can learn about the book, learn about your show, everything.
Oh yeah. Actually, there's a couple websites. But first off, my name is so that you guys can look it up on the internet. It's VanSon, and it's just like the way it's spelled. A van that you drive, beep beep, and the son, like a son of a mom or a dad or a family. And you can go to G as in George Victor V-I. Oh no, wait. See, I'm going to do that wrong. GVPI.org. George Victor Paul Igloo. There you go. GVPI.org. That's my team. That's where my bio is. I don't have my own website because I'm not an expert. I am a student of the paranormal, and I work with a team. It's not about me. It's about all of us.
Right.
And so that's where my bio is. I'm also on Facebook. You can find me on paratalkradio.com. You can find me on winterparafest.com. Those are the websites that I'm involved with and events and so on and so forth. My books are on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Goodreads. There's a whole bunch of different places you can find it. Just put in my name or flashlight recorder and comfortable shoes or the new book, Think Outside the Paranormal Box, and you should be able to find them. And I'll tell you something about the second book. It's extremely easy to read. I wrote it. Took me 16 weeks, and I read it in 45 minutes. How's that for you?
Yeah, awesome.
Wow, nice.
So I wanted this second book to be simple. I wanted everybody to pick it up and read it. Not the small print. It's good-sized print. It's all in layman terms. It's very simple to understand. And if anybody has a problem reading that book, I'll refund your money.
There, you heard it here first.
That's right. I mean, that book is very, very simple to read.
Excellent. And I'll put links in links in the show notes. Ted, as always, this has been a blast. I can't wait to hang out in Gettysburg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys didn't even ask me any hard questions. Now I'm disappointed.
Oh, well,
but
no, give me one.
okay.
Give me one.
No, you're good, man. But no, that's I'm glad. It would be fun sometime between here and there, and maybe in the summer. Maybe I can get you guys to come out on an investigation with me sometime.
Oh, that would be incredible.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Why not? I think it'd be a fun time.
Absolutely. Until you meet us and realize we're a bunch of chuckleheads.
That's okay. I'm the big chucklehead, so we'll all fit in all right. I'm going to be doing the Mothman Festival this year, and as well. There's quite a few of them. And the guys down there that I listen to, they're kind of nutty as well. So maybe we can just make a big party out of it.
Ooh, that
Nice.
sounds awesome.
Yeah.
When's the Mothman Festival this year?
Sure, you would ask me that, wouldn't you?
Hey, you said I didn't ask hard questions. There you go.
Hold on, and I will tell you. I'm looking it up right now. I believe I have them all listed here in my phone. I love technology today, by the way. I love having my phone like right there.
Well, it's funny that I asked the guest to look something up when our computer's right in front of me.
I know.
Yeah, funny man. Ha ha ha.
It's September 19th.
Yeah, see, they are. See, like they can come and see me and visit me. I'm going to be at the New Jersey Para Unity in May. I'll be in New Jersey from the 14th through the 17th of May. I will be at the Maine Paracon May 5th and 6th. ECBR, Bigfoot Convention. You guys should go there.
Yeah, where's that?
That's going to be in Virginia. It's the ECBRO convention.
Okay.
I'll send you some info on it.
Excellent.
And then there's Gettysburg, of course, which you guys got already in July. There's actually a Para Unity convention in New York on August 15th, which I will be a part of. It's called the Northeastern Paranormal Convention, Para Unity Convention. And a bunch of us are getting together to talk about the field and what we can do to help each other along, to advance the field without attitudes, without the egos. And there's that, and then Mothman, September 19th. So, and then don't forget Sci-Fi Horror Fest is October 23rd and 24th, and that's going to be down in Oneonta, New York, and that's always a fun thing too. A lot of horror people, and yes, I said horror, not whore. People, and that goes out to my partner Cindy, because that's what she says every time I say horror. She goes, horror? I go, no, horror. So, and always check out the podcast, paratalkradio.com, and thank you so much, you guys, and I hope you guys will come and join us sometime on our podcast. I'll send you some open dates. You guys pick one.
Okay, most definitely. Ted, thank you so much, and hopefully we'll be talking soon.
That'd be awesome, man. And you guys are fantastic people, number one in my book.
Oh,
thanks, dude.
Thank you.
Well, be safe out there, all the snow, and like I said, we'll be talking soon.
Paranormal Punchers rock.
Thanks, dude. Now I could use that as a little spot.
There you go.
Thanks, Ted.
All right, take care, you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, why don't we take a quick break, and we'll be back. Hey, and we're back. Hey, one more time, I'd just like to thank Ted for hanging out with us. That was a great time.
For sure. Now, that episode that he was on not Ghost Nation.
Yeah, no, Ghost Nation.
Ghost Nation? Okay. For some reason, I was like, I think I'm just making something up. It was actually a really good episode. And I love that they go to people's homes and try to help them out. And then also his book, I love that he's like not focusing on the mechanics, not the mechanics, the electronics.
Technology?
Yeah, the technology that most of the people take to these investigations. Like he's coming up with ways to do this old school.
Yeah, I like the idea. Maybe we'll try it out. But I'm kind of a tech geek sometimes.
Right.
I like to have the gadgets, but I think his idea is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was super cool. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy these special episodes that we have for you. Until the next regular episode, if it's not weird,
it's not worth checking out.